Welcome to the rant video. This is the Sony Rant video that I mentioned at the end of my last rant video, which was basically talking about Marvel's portrayal of Moon Knight. This one is about, of all things, Sony's treatment of, well, let's say, this is the rant basically of what Sony is currently doing with the Spider-Man franchise. Now, we all know that Spider-Man is the MCU. Fine. But what about the rest of his characters? Well, apparently Sony doesn't want to give them up for some stupid reason. Yeah. Despite the fact we had wanted, like, once the MCU started up, which was a year after Spider-Man 3 came out, because, well, Spider-Man 3 for a lot of people was a really bad movie. For me, it's hilariously bad, but Amazing Spider-Man 2 was worse. I mean, good God, was it worse? Yeah, and what did Sony do? They hit the reboot button in order to keep the franchise rights, despite the fact they really didn't do so. Now the Amazing Spider-Man film I thought was really, really good. Good film. I just kind of felt as though this film should have been in the MCU, despite being a good film. Amazing Spider-Man 2, however, and I didn't particularly know about this. I thought it was a pretty good film when it came out. And later I look back and yeah, it's kind of crap. Because there is problems with Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like the fact that the guy who plays Harry Osborn has got no chemistry with Andrew Garfield. Yeah, he's got zero chemistry with him whatsoever. I mean, Andrew Garfield has good chemistry with every other character who appears in the movie, except for Harry Osborn. That's one of the biggest criticisms in the movie. Another criticism is the fact we have 4 villains. We had Electro, we had the Green Goblin, frickin' Rhino for 5 minutes, and this other guy who we basically is a 4th unofficial villain. One other problem I have with the film, one really big problem, is that Ashley Kafka is a man. Now I'm thinking, Ashley Kafka, okay. What do I think of when I think of Ashley Kafka? A smoking hot woman who is a psychiatrist who runs Ravencroft. And in the film, it's a guy. I get the fact Ashley can also be used for a guy, but when you think of Ashley Kafka, you think of a woman. I mean, you could easily cast a woman, yet you cast a guy. Yeah, and here's the thing about Ravencroft. Ravencroft is supposed to be Marvel's version of Arkham Asylum. And here's the thing. Ravencroft barely plays a role in Spider-Man comics, much less barely plays a role in the Marvel Universe, despite the fact it's supposed to be Marvel's version of Arkham Asylum. I mean, its most recent appearance was in Superior Spider-Man number 4. And that was 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago, last time I saw Ravencroft. Now, we have, after the critical backlash that was Amazing Spider-Man 2, not long after that, we had the Sony hack. Oh boy. And we found out some really dumb things. This was around the same time that The Interview came out. Yeah, and one of the things that was revealed was the fact that apparently Marvel had been in talks with Sony over the rights of Spider-Man. Despite the fact Kevin Feige actually publicly denied there was any talks at all. He basically lied to the public about this. Now, I'm sure he probably had his reasons. And then we get it in the MCU. Despite the fact he denied any attempt, basically, people wanted Spider-Man in the MCU because of all the crap. Because of the way Amazing Spider-Man 2 turned out and the way Sony has been treating Spider-Man. So, we got Spider-Man in the MCU. We got him in Civil War. He's getting his own spin-off movie, Spider-Man Homecoming, which is his first movie in the MCU, though it's the second film overall appearance-wise, but his first film. And he's also appearing in Infinity War and the follow-up film. He's getting a sequel. But then, for some reason, I have no idea why Sony said this. Apparently, there's an exit plan for Spider-Man. Yeah, Sony said this, not Marvel. I have heard Sony has backtracked on that. But this is something that I think is really stupid for them to do. They announced they're starting up their own cinematic universe again, despite the fact they tried. Yeah, they seriously tried and failed miserably. Because Amazing Spider-Man 2, if you look at it very closely, it's just a spin-off for 2 movies, maybe 3. Like, there are plans for a Sinister Six movie, which actually sounds quite interesting. And yes, Spider-Man's going to be involved with that one. An Aunt May movie, which to me sounds stupid. There was even talks of a Black Cat movie. I'm not joking about that. Yeah, there was talks of Black Cat movie. And now we have a... Oh yeah, and there was a Venom movie I also talked about after Spider-Man 3, but that got canned. Now we have traction for a Venom movie, despite the fact that when people don't have a problem with Venom having his own movie. But here's the thing. It's a bit too soon to introduce Venom. And here's the thing. This Venom has nothing to do with Spider-Man. He is Eddie Brock, but he has nothing to do with Spider-Man. Now, I praised him for casting, for having Tom Hardy in the role. He's fine. I've got no problem with him. The guy's a good actor. My problem is this. Not having Venom connected to Spider-Man. This is by far a stupid idea. Why? Pure and simple. Because Venom has been heavily connected to Spider-Man since his debut in the late 1980s. Ever since Dave Michelini and Todd McFarlane created him back in Amazing Spider-Man number 290, and that was his first appearance. His first full appearance was in Amazing Spider-Man 300. Yeah, 300 issue, which the cover's been smoothed a few times over the years. But, okay, you want to make a Venom film, and the fact that, from what I've sound, it's not very interesting. You're making sort of a horror sci-fi movie. What's wrong with making Venom the way he's normally depicted? Like, oh yeah, and here's something also interesting though. He's not going to have the white symbol he's normally known for showing half. Yeah, he's not going to have that. So we have a Venom in-name movie only. That's the way it sounds to me. And another really big bullcrapper is the fact that they're also doing a Silver Sable and Black Cat movie. Another film that's completely unnecessary for them to make. Why? 2 characters who are heavily associated with Spider-Man, along with Venom, and yet they're good in their own spin-off movie. And apparently they're taking with them, in that movie, they're bringing Norman Osborn and her Kraven the Hunter. I mean, really? People want to see Kraven the Hunter in the MCU, not in Sony's little spiderless universe. This is by far a really stupid idea. Look, Sony, you have Valiant. A property you set up for 3 years before finally get some traction on it. Because the first piece of news about the Valiant Cinematic Universe is the fact that it's starting. And then Sony sat on it for 2 years. And now I heard there is some traction for it. That there is a Bloodshot movie coming. And, I think there's a Eternal Warrior movie coming as well. I don't know. I heard that Bloodshot and Eternal Warrior, the first 2 that I can think of, they're coming out. But finally, you're getting some traction on it. You have Valiant. You have Men in Black. You have 21 Jump Street. You have these franchises. You don't need Spider-Man at all. You don't need the Spider-Man stuff. Just give it up, Sony. Yeah. And here's something Kevin Feige needs to do. Make a phone call to Bob Horn. I think that's his name. The guy who's the chairman of Disney. Ask him to call up Sony and offer them a big price for all the rights to Spider-Man. To not only Spider-Man, but everything related to him. And I do mean everything. And as for the 2 movies you want to make, take those 2. Take everything Spider-Man and have all exclusively Marvel. And basically cut off their license, cut the license for Sony to make the Spider-Man movies. Cut that off. Yeah. As for if Kevin Feige would do that, I have no idea. But I honestly feel as though that Sony has no idea what they're doing. They're just really desperate to keep the Spider-Man rights. Even though that they've tried to make they have rebooted Spider-Man already, and the first one was I actually thought was really good. Some people I actually talked to actually kind of liked the first Amazing Spider-Man movie. The second one, a lot of people agree, is crap. really crap. I mean, the best thing about the movie is the chemistry between Andrew Garfield, and Emma Stone, the woman who made the actress who plays Gwen Stacy. These two have absolute, these two have absolutely great chemistry. Sorry about that. Open up later. Yeah, one of my websites basically I had open basically sending a sound, but Sony, just stop. Do not do any more. Just in the case of Silver Saber and Black Cat, cancel the movie. Nobody's gonna go see it because if it doesn't involve Spider-Man, no one's interested. In the case of Venom, I mean, if you want to keep Tom Hardy, fine. Just give us Venom. Have him play Bloodshot or even the Eternal Warrior. Though I highly doubt he'd be going to play Ninjak, but I think he's going to play the Eternal Warrior. He's got the good physique for it. And kind of the same thing for, well, I don't know if he can play EXO, but just keep him for the Valiant movies. Just detach him from Venom and just give him over to the Valiant stuff, because Valiant wants to get into the game of making a cinematic universe. They want to catch up with Marvel because Marvel has had success for the past 9 years. And other studios are trying to do that right now. But in the case of Sony, they're trying to do a cinematic universe without a particular character. Which, in my honest opinion, and a lot of people agree with me on this, it's not going to work because no one's going to see these movies at all, and it's going to be crap. Really, really crap. And I think Sony should just give up the rights fully. I mean, yes, they're sharing the rights over Spider-Man with Marvel. But I honestly feel as though when Spider-Man Homecoming comes out, and people can think, yeah, Marvel can make this movie a lot better than you can. So when this one comes out, you need to just give up everything related to Spider-Man. And I do mean everything, including Venom, Silver Sable, Black Cat, Norman Osborn, any villains you want to use, even Spider-Woman. Just give them up. You don't need them. You have Valiant, you have Men in Black, and you have 21 Jump Street. Though you did try to do Ghostbusters, but that didn't turn out too well. Yeah, that didn't turn out too well at all. Yep. So, yes, Sony, just give it up. Please, just give up Spider-Man. Just cut the license, or at least just terminate the agreement. Now, Marvel, just terminate your agreement with Sony over Spider-Man, over their half of it, because Marvel can do much better job with Spider-Man in his cast of characters, a lot better than Sony can, because they tried. They did a really good job with the list. Now, the only characters I can think of they did a really good job with, they did a great job with Dr. Octopus and the Lizard. And that's it. As for Green Goblin, well, they gave him a crappy Power Ranger suit. Venom, they really botched him. Sandman, I think they did a pretty okay job with him, but I think the best two are basically how they did with Dr. Octopus and the Lizard. Rhino, oh boy, they crapped on Rhino. Yeah, the actor who they chose to play him, he's a good actor, but gave him terrible dialogue. And also, the actress were how should I put this? Not doing their job at all. Yeah, the last scene in Amazing Spider-Man 2, yeah, the extras basically were told to do something, and they no-sell the whole thing of the Rhino. And the way the movie ended was with that tease that possibly it was going to be Amazing Spider-Man 3. But trying to get Spider-Man to exit the MCU, trying to go back to what you were doing, nobody wants that. It's not going to work. Why? Because you tried Amazing Spider-Man 2 and you failed. People hated it. Yes, people hated Amazing Spider-Man 2. for several reasons. Not just because Harry Osborn wasn't... Yeah, killing off Norman Osborn, doing a terrible job with Harry Osborn, killing off Gwen Stacy. Yeah, killing off Gwen Stacy. A move that everybody called that you were going to do it anyways, and you did it. You killed her off. You made the most predictable thing happen. So here's my advice to you, Sony. Give up Spider-Man. Just give up the half of your rights. Just give them up fully. No more sharing. Just give everything back. Not just Spider-Man and a few villains. Everything. Give everything back to them. You can keep Men in Black, 21 Jump Street, and Valiant. You're going to do great things with those franchises. And the Men in Black you're going to reboot. Fine. I don't think you're going to go any further with Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. Excuse me. But just focus on those three universes, three franchises. You don't need Spider-Man. Okay? So, that's it for this rant. My next rant I'm going to do is a rant on Venom and on his treatment. Yeah, and how Marvel tends to treat... Basically, it's my Venom rant. That's what the next rant is going to be. Okay? But until then, I will see you there. Bye.